Tonight on KGW News.
And every time I get a step ahead, they kick me 2 steps back.
New uncertainty for those living on Portland streets. Why some say a new camping ban will make it that much harder to turn their lives around. Plus, victory for a group of Tigard seniors who fought to keep their homes affordable and won.
We've never given up.
And later, a move to make sure the Rose City's most iconic drag queen becomes a part of our landscape for generations to come. Good evening, everybody, and we begin tonight with Portland's daytime camping ban now in effect. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Molko. The mayor's office says right now they are focused on education, and enforcement will not begin for months. Thomas Schultz went to take the temperature of folks living on the streets, advocates, and officials about potential next steps.
Well, right now it's breaking me down.
Claude Little has lived on the streets of Portland for 10 years. 9 have been spent in this vicinity. Soon, he could be forced to move daily.
It's going to just keep tearing me up.
Little says he broke his leg months ago and is going to physical therapy. Now he packs a bag of belongings whenever he leaves, in case his tent is removed.
My life is just falling apart slowly, but I'm trying to put it back together. It's really hard.
The ordinance is one of the biggest moves Portland has taken to address homelessness. It bans homeless camping on public property from 8 in the morning until 8 at night. People living on the street can be prohibited from camping if they decline shelter or housing. They can be warned to move their tents and belongings twice before facing a fine up to $100 or 30 days in jail.
We don't have money. That's why we're out here in tents already. So us paying a fine is unrealistic.
City commissioners say the intention of the ordinance is to move people into shelter or public housing.
If people say no to services that we've actually heard they want, then we'll have to deal with that as well.
Representatives from Mayor Ted Wheeler's office say enforcement of the ordinance would not begin immediately. Instead, the city is working with nonprofits, the Street Services Coordination Center, and the Joint Office of Homeless Services to educate people about the change.
It's complicated, but our community safety team, our first responders, need clarification and direction.
Ryan says Friday is just the beginning of dialogue taking place with people living on the streets. He says commissioners need to discuss the education phase of the ordinance in more depth at the next city council meeting. Prominent business and property owner Jordan Schnitzer says the ordinance is a step in the right direction.
And many of them don't want to come down because they're afraid of being attacked by the homeless or impacted by them. We need people back downtown. We need the workers back downtown. We need the shops to open up.
Services like the Blanchet House are collecting suitcases with wheels for people living on the streets to quickly move belongings.
No, they're survivors, right? That's sort of the thing about them that impresses us, is just their instinct for survival.
Still, those like Little are concerned. He says he's already been ticketed in street sweeps and had his belongings thrown in the garbage. He had to get a new ID, social security card, and birth certificate.
I'm trying, and every time I get a step ahead, they kick me 2 steps back, but it's not their fault. You know, they're just following procedure. You know what I'm saying? They're following the mayor.
That's Thomas Schultz reporting there. So will people actually get fined or put in jail because of these new rules? According to Multnomah County's DA, Mike Schmidt, that is unlikely. In a previous news conference, he said when people appear in court, he is hoping to get them connected to services instead.
You know, a jail bed is our most expensive housing option in our community. It's like $314 a day or something like that. And it's the least effective at long-term stabilization. So it's not a cure. It should not be a housing substitute. It should be in the rarest of occasions. And quite frankly, I don't even see these cases, I don't see jail being used realistically. Also, a fine seems a little bit pointless to somebody who's indigent and can't pay for anything as well. But I think just having the contact of the court system, we've seen benefits in our treatment courts that just showing up and getting people there can make those connections.
We will see. The team at The Story has done an in-depth look at the potential impacts of this ban and the court cases that are influencing it. You can catch up their reports online anytime. They're in the story section of KGW.com. Let's get you caught up on tonight's other headlines now. Police have arrested a suspect they say stabbed a man to death Sunday night outside a Portland bar. Colin Smith was killed near the High Dive in the Buckman neighborhood. Those close to Smith told the Oregonian he was trying to stick up for a group of friends at the time. Authorities say the U.S. Marshals tracked down 24-year-old Ranique Jackson today in southeast Portland. He is now charged with second-degree murder. In Lake Oswego, a home is a total loss after fire ripped through both the house and garage. This was breaking news on KGW earlier this evening. With the smoke plume from Atwater Road visible from miles away, the homeowner and their dog got out safely. No word yet on the cause. And Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg was on both sides of the Columbia today to check out ongoing and upcoming transportation projects. He started in Washougal to highlight an intersection where a train crossing causes gridlock. Federal money is going to fix that. State and local officials then joined him in Portland, hoping to add federal funding to planned safety improvements along 82nd. The secretary capped off the day with a ride on one of TriMet's all-electric buses. Well, new tonight, it seems the city and county are at odds over a new harm reduction strategy for drug users. Multnomah County says it started providing foils and pipes to people who are using them to smoke opioids like fentanyl. They say it's similar to needle exchange programs that have been going on for years, but now more people are inhaling drugs than injecting them. So in a tweet this afternoon, Portland's mayor wrote, "I adamantly oppose distributing paraphernalia to encourage using a drug that is the leading cause of death for Americans under 50 and responsible for 190 fatal overdoses a day in the U.S." End quote. The county health department says offering a pipe exchange isn't just about providing clean equipment. They say it also helps encourage users to come in where they can then be connected with treatment services. We have a quick traffic